So, Susan Wiles has made history by becoming the very first female to hold the position of chief of staff for the president of the United States. And as you can imagine, she's busy hiring people and fighting back Democrats and planning for the multitude of executive orders I'm sure we're going to get on day one of the new Trump administration. But we have a surrogate. Her daughter, Kaye Wiles, who's also involved in politics, is a partner at Continental Strategy and works for former Ambassador Trujillo. We'll get into all of that in just a minute. But Katie, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I try to stay on the other side of this, but you're special.
Yeah. Oh, shucks. I hounded her on Twitter and I was like, hey, look, we got to talk about your mom. And she was like, fine. Oh, you got clearance though, right? That was a big thing because your mom became chief of staff. And when I asked you for an interview, you were like, it's got to go through the proper channels. Did we get vetted by the FBI or something? What happened?
I wouldn't know even if they did.
That's
so
true.
let me start there. But no, it was I checked with my folks and with mom, and we're good to go.
Oh, that's
excited to be here.
That's so nice. Well, we're excited to have you. Well, let's talk about you first because you too, you come from this it's all these strong political women in your family. Your mother, of course, who worked for Rick Scott, Ron DeSantis, President Trump now for several years. Got his campaign to, I mean, really one of the most successful political campaigns we've seen. But you and your sister also are in politics. What is it you're doing?
So I am currently a partner at Continental Strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So we have offices throughout the state of Florida, Miami, Tallahassee, and Jacksonville, as well as a large presence in DC. And we recently opened our first international office in Buenos Aires. And so we have a partner down there doing some of our international work as well. So a little lobbying, little business development, and my first love is comms. So I still do a little bit of that too.
That's what the cool kids call communications.
Yeah.
Comms.
Yeah. And if there's not a crisis, then it's just regular comms.
Yeah, that's right. Now, you worked actually for our former mayor, Lenny Curry, which here in Jacksonville, and you were the communications director there for a while.
Yeah, and he's has remained a dear friend of both mine and my mother's. So sometimes, frankly, she'll text him back before she texts me. So they're still extremely close, and I've stayed sort of with that City Hall crew after his administration ended, and so it's been really fun to sort of still get to interact with the folks that I worked with there. Brian Hughes, obviously, who went on the campaign, and then Mayor Curry as well.
And now you work for a company that has offices in Jacksonville, Miami, Buenos Aires. I mean, that sounds like that's a pretty good job.
Tallahassee and DC. So it's been really fun.
DC's DC, but that's amazing. You get to fly to all the best beaches in the world. All right,
yeah, exactly.
So recently, your mother became, I mean, arguably, I would argue, the most powerful woman in the world as chief of staff to Donald Trump. I mean, that's it. She runs the White House. She's his right-hand man. She's going to be in the Situation Room. She's going to be negotiating with the likes of Vladimir Putin and Zelensky and Xi Jinping. And is this something that you ever expected, or did it? I mean, how does it feel being the daughter of the most powerful political woman that there is?
It's ridiculously cool. And I can't even put into words how proud I am of her. And one thing I think that's really important that people don't talk about, and maybe it's just a cool Trivial Pursuit question, but yes, she was the first female chief of staff in the White House, but she was the first female chief of staff for the city of Jacksonville.
Ooh.
So home has always been home to us, and this city is extremely important to us. And so we still live here, and I've sort of watched her grow from municipal government into the specific campaigns, but then still keep these relationships that sort of raised us.
Yeah.
And so it's been really, really cool to see. So I'm super proud of her.
And talk about
when I think I couldn't get any prouder. It's crazy. It's
talk
ridiculous.
about, I mean, grounded. You said that she's hosting Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah, so I have an 8-year-old son, and he calls her Susu because we can't just be grandma.
Yeah, of course.
So our Susu, which has sort of become a thing, a lot of people call her Susu now. But I feel like one of the things I admire about her most, especially now that I'm a mother, and knowing and actually holding the same position she held during the Delaney and Payton administration,
Right.
I held for Mayor Curry. So real full circle moment here. But being able to really appreciate sort of what keeps her level and what keeps her grounded. And I know that there's so many articles out there talking about her baking pound cakes and her being the Susu and having a grandson, but it truly is. I think one of the things that makes her the most special is still being able to come home and be mom
Yeah.
be a friend. The folks that join us on Thanksgiving have been her friends going on 40 years. My best friend, her mom still joins us, so we're talking long-term friends that come home, support her.
Yeah.
It's fun, it's judgment-free, and it's a time to sort of reconnect.
Are there topics that are just 100% off limits at Thanksgiving? Like, can you talk about, anything with the transition? Does she let you in on maybe some of the vetting process or some of the people that even we don't know about that are being considered for
No,
various roles?
no, we
Nothing.
talk about I cook a turkey, she cooks a turkey. And then we talk about whose turkey is better.
Really? You have like
And
a
then we eat
turkey
pound
cook-off.
cake.
And then what?
And then we eat pound cake.
And then you eat pound cake. So that's it. No pumpkin pie at the Wiles household.
There's lots of pie, there's lots of sides, but there's a little friendly competition about whose turkey is better. And the folks that we choose to include on Thanksgiving are it's a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
So while they're informed and I think familiar to Jacksonville and to the Ponte Vedra area, it's a very low key, very fun. Bring your kids, bring your appetite, and we have a good time.
I bet it sounds amazing. One of the most incredible things, and I've been following politics for a long time, a lot of presidential elections, as you have as well, is when your mother was chosen. She was the first cabinet position chosen, which is not odd. You want the chief of staff in place,
Right.
because then they're going to help with hiring. They're going to make sure everyone knows who to report to. But the most amazing thing was when, I think it was like a Thursday or a Friday, and they announced Susan Wiles, chief of staff, first female in history. There was, and it may be the only cabinet position President Trump has ever chosen that had this effect. There was no pushback. There was no negativity. There was no debate. It was all just a collective nod of approval from the left, the right, and the media. And I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It's one, it was super cool to see.
Yeah.
But two, even sort of throughout this campaign and previous campaigns, one of the things that even when I talk to other reporters, they'll say, I've never met anybody who is just universally respected.
Exactly right.
And so it's been one, it's something that I strive for and I try to emulate, but the reality is she is fair, she is disciplined, she is a perfect sort of case study in sort of kindness and stoicism at the same time. You respect her as a leader and you want to do well for her. So I've worked for a lot of people, but I find it's very few people that you want to do well for yourself. Obviously, you want to take care of your family,
Sure.
but there is a real sort of group of folks that would follow her to the ends of the earth. Obviously, I'm included in that, but it's really special to watch. And it's the way she sort of led Caroline and I as we were growing up and has been really an incredible influence on my son as well. And it's very much reminiscent of my grandmother. Catherine, my namesake, but you knew when you were in trouble, but man, she was the most gentle soul. And so believe it or not, even if the president wants to refer to her as the Ice Maiden, I get it.
Right.
But she's the most gentle, kind woman I know.
Yeah. The Ice Maiden, when he brought her up on stage and she begrudgingly made her way to the microphone and he called her the Ice Maiden. I mean, that was something that's really out of character. She's not a spotlight hog like a lot of people in politics tend to be, correct?
Correct. Always be the kingmaker, never the king.
That's right. That's fantastic. Well, listen, now that you have, and you've had this role model your whole life and you've followed in her footsteps, you now, of course, working for a former ambassador and being involved in politics, you have to be chief of staff for JD Vance or something in 2028. How does that, what's your?
Certainly not. No,
no. Oh, come on.
The last campaign I worked was John McCain. So it's been a while. I enjoy being campaign adjacent, and I love being a mom. So there are no campaigns in my future.
All right, so you're content with what you do as a lobbyist, right? Continental strategy partner.
I'm a policy nerd at my core, so this gives me what I need.
A lot that we need those people. So, well, listen, congratulations to you. Congratulations to your mom. I'm excited. Now, what's the difference between the two turkeys? Do you have because usually the turkey recipe gets handed down.
Yes.
Is it?
She brines.
Oh, she brines. Oh, yeah. I don't have the patience for brining either. I'm not.
I am a creature of habit, and I know what my turkey needs to look like. I know what it needs to taste like.
Yeah.
She's a briner. I'm not. So
Do you feel that now that she's chief of staff, people will suck up to her and her turkey on Thanksgiving if you ask them which turkey was better? Like, do you feel that there's an unfair advantage at this point?
That's the best part about the people we have Thanksgiving with.
They'll be honest.
They're going to give it to us straight.
I'm sorry, Susan, you may be chief of staff, but Katie's turkey was far superior.
But here's the deal. I can't bake. So let's just call it what it is. Pound cake turkey. Winner.
We all have our skills. Kaye Wiles, listen, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's appreciated.